funk. Thoughts deep, boys steeped in the depths that he sunk. Big stress, depressed in the middle of fall. Sky gray, I late in the thick of it all. I wonder, how long can a human survive just staying alive or carrying the rest of the tribe? Waiting for the day to arrive or struggling dies, and I be doing way, way more than getting by. So why? Cop myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, cop myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Realize life is so much more than just living a day. Every day I can sit and reflect and reconnect to myself and all that I've been given. See, giving up is not an option. So while I'm looking at gray skies, I'll be adopting a new way to deal with a test. Lord, relieve me of stress and bring me looking like when blessings drop in. And so I got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, here we go. Yeah, let's do this. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Test. Let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord.
Warning, the following image and/or content may be disturbing, offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
It's time for me to clock in and go to work, y'all. It is time for me to clock in to go to work, man. I'm here. I'm here. Have no fear. Urban Nils in the building, man. Have no fear. Urban Nils in the building, man. I know y'all been like, man, what the hell? Urban! Urban, normally you go live on the Tuesday. What's going on? What's happening, Captain? Hey, look. Check this out, y'all. Whenever y'all don't see me posting on my community wall, whenever y'all don't see me like going live, right? Trust and believe that I'm in a lab cooking up some stuff for real. Trust and believe I am cooking up something for real, y'all. I am cooking up something so I can present it to y'all. And trust and believe, I got a lot of content, man, that I'm cooking up, and I also got this major content that I'm cooking up for y'all as well too. I'm still working on it, all right, because it takes a lot for me to want to put this thing together and present it to y'all because it's a lot of information. But this particular thing right here, I've been working on this for almost like 3 weeks, all right? So I'm okay. I'm not like a lot of content creators, right? Where they could just talk about whatever topic on the top of their head, right? I'm just not that type of content creator. If you're like that, I'm not knocking it. You know what I'm saying? That's cool with you, but over here in the lounge, whenever I talk about stuff, right, and I throw it out here, especially my content being thought-provoking that it is, so it can be controversial, it could challenge people, it could piss people off, I have to want to dot my I's and cross my T's. Because when I say something, I mean it, and I can back up what I say. Facts. I'm saying. So by me doing that, right, by me doing that, I have to want to put all this together and present it to y'all so I can want to have this information. Y'all can want to go, seek it out for yourself. It is what it is, but that's what I do. So just like I say, this particular content, I actually been working on this for almost like 3 weeks, man, putting this together while working on, some little filler episodes as well too. So I'm sitting up here, man, I'm sitting up here multitasking, doing a lot. I'm being a husband, being a father, also working, being the one DJ as well too, and on top of that, working on building this phenomenal content for y'all for real talk. So I'm always doing something. You know what I'm saying? I'm always busy doing something. Then when you have people like Lionel, right, that hold you accountable. When you have people like SBK that hold you accountable as well too, that check in on you and stuff and make sure that you're doing what you're doing, trust and believe that I'm doing what I'm doing for real. Because if I don't do it, them brothers is definitely going to hold me accountable. Facts. They definitely going to call me out for real. So I am in the kitchen cooking up a storm for real, man. Making this some great phenomenal content for real, man. So I appreciate y'all patience and understanding that I'm just a different content creator. When I talk about stuff, I always have the facts to prove when I'm talking about, so y'all can go back, you know what I'm saying, and view for yourself. If you agree with it, cool. If you don't agree with it, it's fine. It's cool too. I ain't tripping about it at all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the building, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight, y'all. That's why I decided to go live earlier. As a matter of fact, I may start going live around about 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know what I'm saying? So I may start doing that instead of going live either 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, for different reasons. You know what I mean? So that's neither here nor there. But shout out to everybody in the building, man. SBK, he was the first one. What's up with it, bro? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. We got show enough in the building as well too. So with it. Man, we got real in the building as well too. What's up with it, bro? Salute to you as well too. Salute to you. Yeah, also my apologies too, real. I didn't mean to step into your house and wave and run out, but the reason why is because I was listening to you, right? But I was also working on getting this content together for tonight and stuff. So I was listening to your show. I was listening to everything that you was talking about, man. And chef kiss is all I gotta say. Chef kiss. Did real good, brother. Real good, real good, real good. Who else we got in the building? We got Show Enough in the building. We also got my boy Liner in the building as well too. Salute. And salute to each and every last one of y'all who are watching in the bushes or you're catching the replay of the stream. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. We got a lot, man. We got a lot of content we got to cover tonight, man. I ain't lying. It is a lot. Man, it's a whole lot, man. But we're gonna cook, man, because I've been wanting to talk about the Obamas for the longest. The very last time I talked about the Obamas was during the election. All right, was during the election, and when Michelle Obama made a famous ass speech. Y'all remember that famous ass speech that Michelle Obama made when she was on the campaign trail with Kamala, right? And she was up here encouraging women to not only vote, but to vote out of the best interest with your man and your husband's stuff. And if your husband is telling you to vote opposite, she was literally encouraging women to tear up their marriage. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that bullshit? Y'all remember that?
That's bullshit.
Y'all remember that? Then I did another show talking about her saying, well, if we go high, if they go low, we go high. But she turned around and said that she want to go low. So we gonna talk about all that, man. We got a lot, man. We got a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna share with y'all real quick so I can refresh y'all memory because we got a lot of content tonight, man. I ain't lying. When I say we do. We got a lot of content tonight for real, man. A whole lot of content. So let me share this with y'all so y'all can remember what Michelle Obama was talking about in this regard, all right? So y'all can also understand where I'm coming from with all this, why I'm going to talk about the Obamas the way I'm going to talk about them tonight, all right? So let's get into this particular content, all right? Check this out. This what she had to say.
Now, I recognize that there are a lot of angry, disillusioned people out there upset with the slow pace of change. And I get it. It is reasonable to be frustrated. We all know we have a lot more work to do in this country. But to anyone out there thinking about sitting out this election or voting for Donald Trump or a third-party candidate in protest because you're fed up, let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage.
So tonight's show, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the Obamas, but the main focal point of the show tonight, we're going to deal with the attack of masculinity. Okay, we're going to deal with the attack on masculinity through political means. All right, because I don't know if y'all been paying attention to what's been going on. This all started when Kamala was when they elected Kamala to be the successor over former President Biden. Her whole campaign trail was dealing with not only attacking President Trump, right, but her campaign also was focused in on dealing with women's rights. Preferably, she was focusing on women productive right, but at least that's how the way she was selling it to win the woman's vote. Eventually, her and other women, such as Michelle Obama and such as her husband Barack Obama as well too, they decided to steer the campaign trail in talking about masculinity, preferably talking about men who are sitting around the manosphere content, men who sitting around the red pill community content as well too. So they steer into this particular content and start really focusing in on this particular content, okay? And they use that as a campaign strategy to win the simp votes and also win the women votes and also win feminist votes as well too. All right? So we're going to listen to a little bit more of this, then we're going to get into the main content, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up as well too, y'all, because like I said, we got a lot to talk about tonight, for real, dealing with them.
you as men prepared to look into the eyes of the women and children you love and tell them that you supported this assault on our safety? And to the women listening.
And I want y'all to understand this. She is literally using the same talking point that feminists such as Cynthia G, feminists such as Niall Speaks, feminists such as Thamus and Thought, or whatever they call that channel, and these different other channels, right? She's using the same talking points that they use all the time, where they be simply calling men dusties, they be calling men bandits. They always use the one talking points as well to talk about that they feel like they're not being protected. Or they give you an ultimatum saying, if you're not protecting me the way that I want you to protect you, that I want to be protected, then this is going to be the end resort. Hell, they even said that they'd rather for a damn bear to protect them than an actual man. Y'all remember that bullshit? Y'all remember that?
Bullshit.
That they'd rather for a damn bear to protect them over a man, but yet they still are pleading their case saying that men have to protect them the way that they want to be protected. But let's get to it, y'all.
We have every right to demand that the men in our lives do better by us. We have to use our voices to make these choices clear to the men that we love. Our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment.
Now keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. She said that their lives, their happiness, their insanity, their chaos is more important than your life as a man. So forget everything else that happens, right? Forget everything else that you go through for us dealing with your mental health and all the stuff there, right? Forget that because it don't matter anyway. Remember when I did a show and I was talking to y'all about how women emasculate men when they open up to their feelings and their emotions. Normally they emasculate them, but they literally say that if a man cry, that they will look at them differently. Y'all remember that?
What?
Y'all remember that? And overwhelmingly, the women have said the same exact thing. They say, hey, if my man cry, I believe that he is a punk.
God damn.
If my man cry, I'm not going to look at him the same ever again. If my man cry, I'm immediately going to terminate that relationship. But I want to let y'all know that all of this is by a political design. It is literally attack on masculinity. Now I understand the whole concept about toxic masculinity, like they're trying to sell it. But let's be quite honest with you. When we look at the term of toxic masculinity, you know what I'm saying? When we look at that, right? When we look at toxic masculinity, we act like it's the majority of men who are toxic. But in reality, it's not the majority of men who are toxic. It's not. It is roughly about 10 to 50% of men who share that toxic masculinity trait. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. But the majority of the men out there, all they want to do is be respected. All they want to do is be loved, period, by the women that they support. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. But let's continue.
And we are more than just baby-making vessels. And if you are a woman who lives in a household of men that don't listen to you or value your opinion, just remember that your vote is a private matter. Regardless of the political views of your partner, you get to choose. You get to use your judgment and cast your vote for yourself and the women in your life. Remember, women, standing up for what is best for us can make the difference in this election.
So let me ask this question. Before I ask this question, let me make this statement, okay? Let's make it clear that I am for self-love. I advocate for self-love. I really do. Now here's my question on this. Do self-love still has a play or a factor when you're actually in a marriage? Okay. Once again, do self-love still have a play or a factor when you're actually in a marriage? Now, I can understand. I can understand when you're by yourself and you have to love yourself and do different things to take care of yourself. But the moment when you decide to be in a committed relationship with another human being, do self-love still plays a factor in that, or do it becomes more sacrificial? Okay. Because how the way it's being taught in modern day culture is that when you enter into a marriage, right, that self-love thing is not number one anymore. It end up becoming number two. Well, actually number three. Because once when you enter into an actual marriage, it is actually your duty as a wife is to take care of your husband, right? Your duty as a husband is to take care of your wife, right? Then your duty as a parent is to do what? To take care of your children. Then last but not least, that's when the self-love factor comes into play, correct? So if that be the case, right? If that be the case, then why is she encouraging women? Why is she encouraging women who are married to have self-love for themselves first? And literally telling them to forget how the way your husband feel, forget how the way your husband think or going to react to this. What's more important is this political thing that really don't have nothing to do with you, that really in reality don't care about you anyway. All we are is the snake oil salesman trying to get into a certain position so we can leverage that and make more money. That's facts. So why would you even care about that? Why would we even care about that? But she's encouraging women to do this. And guess what? During that election, these very said women listened to Michelle Obama. They listened to Beyonce. They listened to Kamala Harris. And literally let these people who don't even know their family tear their family apart. Tear their family apart. All because of this. Now, keep in mind, a couple of months ago, we was talking about men's mental health. We covered strongly on men's mental health. Imagine you being married, right? Imagine you being married to this woman for 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 20 years, or 30 years, right? Imagine you being married to this woman, right? And this woman blatantly going to tell you that I'm going to vote, right? In your mind as a man, you really don't care. Like, okay. But she come at you and make an ultimatum, say, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. I want you to vote for Kamala Harris as well, too. Well, honey, I don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. I want to vote for somebody else. I want to vote for Trump or whoever it is. If you don't vote for her, then you don't have my best interest. If you don't vote for her, this is going to be the ultimatum. I'm not going to have sex with you. If you don't vote for her, I'm going to get a divorce because you're supporting a man who don't have my self-interest. How in the hell a man that don't even know your relationship, don't even know your family dynamics, how in the hell would a man literally would tear up your family unless you allow that man to do so? How? But this is what they encourage. This is what she encouraged them to do. I also want to present this to y'all tonight, because like I said, we got a lot to talk about tonight dealing with the Obamas, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things that I've been watching with the Obamas, I've been kind of like, I've been kind of looking kind of differently about them. Back in the past, a lot of people, especially in the black community, they've been looking at Barack and Michelle Obama as the pinnacle of this ideal, perfect marriage. Am I lying about that? No, I'm not lying. Those of y'all who are tuned in right now, y'all either or probably have in the past was looking at Barack and Michelle Obama marriage as the perfect marriage. Many of y'all wanted to replicate everything that they had going on in a marriage. What if I were to tell y'all that Michelle Obama said herself that she don't want y'all to replicate her marriage because she know that her marriage is not perfect. Would y'all agree with me on that? Or would you disagree with me on that? Would you say, Urban, you lying? Urban, you lying. No, I'm not lying. Dead serious. She dead seriously said that she do not want y'all to replicate her marriage at all, period. She said that. She did. Let me pull up this clip. That's the one I'll show y'all what she was talking about. Okay. Check this out. Check this clip out. And let's consider this, okay? Make sure y'all hit thumbs up.
I don't want people looking at me and Barack like hashtag couples goals.
Yeah.
The good has outweighed it. And if we not know that, no, there are some broken things that happen even in the best of marriages.
Absolutely.
We hadn't hung in there, we would have missed all the good. And first of all, pick well. Pick somebody you respect and like. Start there, right? And then remember that that's who they are. And then understand that with that, they are going to be, and you are going to be deeply, deeply flawed. And you're going to make a whole lot of mistakes, right? But in the end, you can look that person in the eye and you go, you're still the person that I like and love and respect, and we can figure this out.
Yeah.
There's some people who love through a whole lot of things. So I think that has to be individual. But if I were talking to my daughters, I wouldn't want them to stay in a marriage that made them feel oppressed, that was an overall negative to who they were, right? I do think there are reasons to walk away from marriage, friendship, jobs, a whole lot of things, right? So yeah, I have a clear list of the non-negotiables, but everybody has their own.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in this clip that we need to unpack. Now, those of y'all who just listening to this, naturally, right, you just hearing what she said, right, you're not hearing a lot of the subtle keywords that she's talking about, okay? That's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to decipher all this. Barb, I see you. Appreciate you. I'm here to decipher all this for y'all. Now, once again, I made the claim stated that a lot of people out there wanted to replicate a mirror or use Barack and Michelle Obama's marriage as his blueprint to look for in a marriage. Is that wrong for people to do that? Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, period. In fact, if you could find a successful relationship or a successful marriage, by all means, try to replicate that. Not to the T, but to at least get certain type of points so you could also have a successful relationship as well too. So yeah, I agree with that. I do. But the thing about it where I disagree is when people become disingenuous about it. Okay? Where they literally sit up here and literally brag and sit up here and say that my relationship is this, that, and that, and y'all must do the same as that thing as my relationship. That's the bullshit I don't agree with at all.
That's bullshit.
And matter of fact, I am a married man. I would not tell people to replicate my marriage, period. Because the foundation of how the way my marriage is only for me and my wife. How the way we handle the situations in our household is ultimately is for me and my wife. So I want to encourage people to replicate that because in reality, it may not work for you. Okay. Same concept with Barack and Michelle Obama. It may not work for you about the situations that they got going on in their marriage. But however, we're going to talk about the situations that they got going on in their marriage because it is very questionable. For real. Very questionable. So let's go ahead and decipher this video. Let's go ahead and listen to exactly what Michelle is talking about. And we got evidence, we got proof to one bag all this stuff up. Once again, those of y'all who are tuning in, make sure you hit that thumbs up because they let the YouTube algorithm know that you want more of this content. All right, so let's get it.
I don't want people looking at me and Barack like hashtag couples goals.
Yeah.
The good has outweighed it. And if we not know that, no, there are some broken things that happen even in the best of marriages.
Absolutely.
We hadn't hung in there, we would have missed all the good. And first of all, pick well. Pick somebody you respect and like. Start there.
Now, this part right here, it's partially true because I talk about all the time that you need to vet out before going into a relationship. And to be quite honest with you, in this modern day time, you need to constantly be vetting each other out, to be real about it. Now, let's keep it real, because we can all agree that when you meet someone, you only meet their representative, correct? We can agree to that. So it's important to not only vet them out during that process, but also continue to vet them out. Do y'all know by me being a married man, still to this day, I still vet out my wife? Do y'all know still to this day that my wife still vet me out as well too? And you want to know the reason why we do that to each other? The reason why we do that to each other is that we hold each other accountable. We do. We hold each other accountable, and also we use that in a way to be checking in on each other to see where we at. Because we understand by human nature that things could change. Our mind could change. Anything could happen where we end up having a different opinion about something. You know what I'm saying? Like, case in point, this past election, where this election literally manipulate people to think a certain type of way. There's situations that happen into your life that becomes chaotic, where it literally changes the whole course to where you be thinking differently for how the way you thought in the past. So we use that as an opportunity to hold each other accountable, right? And also check in on each other to see that we're still on the same level or where we at. So in that situation, I would most definitely encourage couples, where if you in a cohabitation relationship, where if you're married or whatever the case may be, right? Polygamous relationship, whatever the case may be, to always check in on each other, to always hold each other accountable, to always vet out each other, no matter what. That way you won't be surprised when your husband come out and say something off the wall, because, hey, he'd already said before, so this ain't nothing unusual for me. She'd already said and did this before, so this is nothing unusual for me. That's facts.
Right. And then remember that that's who they are. And then understand that with that, they are going to be, and you are going to be deeply, deeply flawed. And you're going to make a whole lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. But in the end, you can look that person in the eye and you go, you're still the person that I like and love and respect, and we can figure this out.
Yeah.
There's some people who love through a whole lot of things. So I think that has to be individual. But if I were talking to my daughters, I wouldn't want them to stay in a marriage that made them feel oppressed, that was an overall negative to who they were, right? I do think there are reasons to walk away from marriage, friendship, jobs, a whole lot of things, right? So yeah, I have a clear list of the non-negotiables, but
So let me ask y'all this question, chat, and everyone who's tuning in right now. What is the most important thing in a relationship? What's the most important thing in a relationship? Is love or unconditional love the most important thing in a relationship, or is it simply loyalty and respect? Once again, is unconditional love is the most important thing in the relationship, or is it simply loyalty and respect the most important thing in the relationship? There's a reason why I'm asking this question. There's a reason why. Because what if I were to present to y'all that due to the dynamics of Barack and Michelle Obama relationship, that they believe that love is not the most important thing in a relationship? What if I were to present to y'all that they believe that it's more about loyalty and respect and about what the person is doing for each other? That's the most important thing. Do y'all agree with that? A matter of fact, let me ask a follow-up question as well too. Can unconditional love be sustainable enough for relationships? once again, can unconditional love be sustainable enough for relationships without anything else, just solely unconditional love? Can that be sustainable for relationships? Can this one thing, this one factor, will create a positive relationship experience? Yes or no? Yes or no? Y'all let me know in the chat. Once again, shout out to everyone in the building. Appreciate y'all want to tune into the show. We got a lot that we got to cover tonight, y'all. We got a lot to cover. We got a lot that I'm going to break down with the Obamas, man, about the dynamics of their relationships and everything, man. And just like I stated earlier, if you see a couple or a marriage couple or whatever, right, and you see that whatever they're doing is successful in a relationship and you're trying to replicate that, then to be honest with you, it's nothing wrong with using that as a blueprint. Okay? Nothing wrong with it at all, period. It's not my argument at all. But however, my argument is dealing with people who are being disingenuous with it, okay? Which that's what we're going to find out. We're going to find out how Barack and Michelle Obama is literally being disingenuous in a said relationship. We're going to find out tonight how Barack and Michelle Obama is literally just faking the funk in a relationship, and that's facts. They faking the funk in a relationship, trying to pretend to us as the viewer that the things that they got going on, the dynamics that they got going on in a relationship, it is okay. There's nothing toxic about it or anything like that. But we're going to discover that there are a lot of components that's been happening with the Obamas for real. A matter of fact, I want y'all to consider this too, okay? There was a episode on Michelle Obama podcast, right? On this episode, they had talked a lot about dealing with boys, okay? Dealing with raising boys to be men. They talked about one of their main talking points that they was talking about the manosphere and the red pill communities. For some strange reason, they honestly believe that the red pill and the manosphere community is just a super toxic community, period. No matter what people talk about any said communities, they believe that it is toxic and it's a problem, and it's a problem that needs to be dealt with politically. Now, I have mentioned this all the time on the lounge that there are things with the manosphere and the red pill communities that I absolutely do not subscribe to. I do not agree with it at all. I don't. But there are other things that the manosphere and the red community talk about that I do agree with, because it's actually true. It's actually true. But let's take a look at this episode. We're going to also break this episode down as well too. I'm very, very curious to get y'all perspective on this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this clip.
Same neighborhood where you guys grew up, but the chances of possibly getting shot or the chances of, some other terrible thing happening are higher. And I think that affected everybody's parenting, and it affected how we handle kids, right? So that now suddenly, instead of just saying, all right, get out of here and come back for dinner time, now it's a play date. And where are you? And do we know the parents where you're playing? And so on and so forth.
We see a good example in it in one of my favorite shows on Netflix that has become the topic of conversation amongst a lot of people, particularly in Black homes, is this series Forever, which is a beautiful story of young love in a Black neighborhood. And it is.
All right. Have y'all seen the one Netflix series Forever? Have y'all seen that yet? Have y'all seen that series yet? I actually had encouraged Lionel to watch that series Forever. Well, I'm surprised me and Lionel haven't did a reaction review of that series Forever yet, but we watched it. Me and Lionel had watched Forever. All right, so they are going to make a talking point about the series Forever. Those of y'all who haven't seen the series, it is going to kind of be like a little spoiler alert for you. and it should encourage you to go on Netflix and watch it. All right, those of you who already seen it, then you'll know exactly what they're talking about. All right, so let's get it.
It is not traumatic and bad things don't happen.
It's just
but
regular kids.
It's just regular kids that reflects all of our lives in real ways. And I know you watched some of that, and Barack, you are well aware of it. But the show has created a lot of conversation in terms of how do you raise emotionally intelligent boys and what we get right and what we get wrong. Not just among boys, but kids in general.
We watched it as a family. We watched the whole series as a family and enjoyed it a lot.
So me and Mrs. Urban had watched it together. We're going to watch it as a family, but me and her watched it together. In fact, how I found out about the show was through Mrs. Urban because she was getting alerts on it through like Facebook and all the stuff there where, she was having different friends encouraging her to watch it and stuff, right? So she's like, hey, babe, let's go ahead and watch this show forever. I like, all right, I'll sit down and watch it with you. So I watched it. I like, ugh.
That's bullshit.
We sit up here and just binge watch that whole entire one show, man. And they had the audacity to have a season 2 coming out. That's how I found out about it. So I like, you know what? If I got tortured by watching this show, I'm going to want to make my homeboys get tortured as well, too. And that's when I invited Lionel to watch it.
It was really fun to hear the boys talk about, oh, you guys would have done that, or you guys wouldn't have done that. That was eye-opening as a parent.
Yeah.
Because
they're evaluating you.
They're
They've got the
evaluating.
little checklist.
They're
It's like,
evaluating
oh,
our
man.
parenting, or they're evaluating their parenting based on their own.
That's
with the
the
show.
crazy. That's the crazy thing Dad would do.
Yeah.
They,
But this brings me back to Emma. Emma's trying to raise these boys, and so she's trying to be somewhere between Forever and then the other show that people are talking about, Adolescence, which I haven't watched yet, which it gets into sort of the misogyny that young boys are exposed to,
and the online,
the manosphere.
They're getting their parenting.
They're getting their
online.
parenting
They're getting their
from-
notions of manhood
from
extreme.
extremists.
Extremists.
Now, I want y'all to understand this. They are calling the manosphere and red pill community as extremists. Whenever you label something that's extremist, they label it on the same definition as people who talk about racism. Okay. They're putting it on that same exact level. But here's my question on this, okay? Notice that they're centering this on talking about misogyny, okay? My question is this. If misogyny is this serious, right? Why are we not going to talk about misandry as well, too? Why are we not going to talk about that? Why are we not going to also talk about feminism, too? Why are we not going to talk about that? If these two components is this serious where you want to label it as extremist, right? Why are we not having conversations about this? Notice on this clip that I'm sharing with y'all, they're not going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about misandry. They're not going to talk about feminism or anything like that. They're not going to even talk about these content creators like I mentioned earlier, like Cynthia G and all of them. They're not going to mention them and talk about the stuff that they talk about. One of them literally said that you need to delete men, period. They wanted men to be deleted, period. That's what they say. But yet still, we don't hear no pushback on that. We rarely hear pushback on that. But when they're dealing with men who created their own set of community for themselves, right? Where they talk about real issues that let's be honest with you, that people, especially women, do not want to hear. Because when we having these conversations, women don't want to hear the truth about how the way we really feel because they don't care about how we feel because we determined that a couple of months ago during Men's Mental Health Month. Because they don't. The red pill and manosphere community, to be quite honest with y'all, is the equivalent of men going to the barbershop and talking. That's facts. That's all it is. That's all it is. The only difference is that it is on a podcast now. It's on the podcast now. You got people who go on to these channels like YouTube or whatever, right? And they're just talking about it now. But these conversations been happening at the barbershop for the longest. Ladies, we talk about all kind of bullshit about y'all all the time. We really do. We really do. A matter of fact, Lionel, he's in the chat right now. Lionel could confirm this. He said this. He said, Irby, you know what? Throughout my experience of living on this planet, right, I hear married men all the time talk about they wives, they women. Did you not say that, Lionel? I hear married men talk about their wives all the time, as though they're not happy. Newsflash. Married men been talking about their wives before a down manosphere existed. Married men been talking about their wives before a red pill. Married men been talking about their wives before YouTube or a podcast or anything like that. They been talking about it, but they been talking about it in their private space known as a barbershop. That's facts. Hell, what do y'all think we be talking about at the barbershop? You only be thinking we be talking about sports, so that's it? We be talking about relationships. We be talking about our wives. We be talking about how some of our wives don't want to cook and clean and do all these different things. We be sitting up here holding each other checks and balances stuff, right? We be calling each other out as well too in the barbershop. Like, man, why in the hell did you marry that goddamn heifer? Then the dude ended up holding himself accountable, bro. You know, I was horny that day, man. Or he'll say something along the lines of, man, I got that trick pregnant, man, and hey, here we are, we're married. We be talking about shit like that for real in the barbershop. Got her married, so here we are. Just wanted to take care of my responsibility. This is what we've been doing. So men been talking about this for the longest, but it's the women who wasn't listening. And the reason why the women don't want to listen is simply because they believe that they do not care about the things that their man going through, because it's more about them. It's more about them. I mean, facts. But let's continue. E, I see you in the chat. Salute, welcome. And salute to everybody who are tuning in. Make sure, salute to everybody else who are tuning in. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up and let the YouTube algorithm know that you're enjoying this content and you want more content like this.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because let's go back to the original question. All right. Emma's trying to figure out how to raise boys. I think.
And it's crazy that this conversation that they're having right now is by a woman who's a single mother. And she's trying to get advice how to raise boys. Listen in to what Barack is going to say about this. Check this out.
Figure out how to raise boys. I think we did a pretty good job of raising our girls. But I've said often that I think I would have had more difficulty raising a son.
I agree.
Because I think I might have been more judgmental, harder, and I would have tried to. I like to think I would have been more self-aware enough to combat that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think father-son relationships, for me particularly, if I don't have a dad around to show it to me, might have been more difficult. So, talk about, Craig, just how you thought about it. Was it?
Real quick, before he go to on Craig and he give his perspective, right? What do we got to think about that? Barack literally said that if he were to have sons, that raising a son would have been way difficult than raising daughters. So in reality, he's literally saying that he didn't want to have a son to begin with in the first place. I'm going to call bullshit on this.
That's bullshit.
I'm going to call bullshit on this. The reason why I'm going to call bullshit on this is because, in reality, I honestly believe that this is not Barack Obama talking. I honestly believe that this is Michelle manipulated Barack into this belief system. Because every man on this planet, if they were to have a child, every man on this planet want to have a son. Every man on the planet want to have a son. Whether if you have it as a firstborn son or you eventually have a son in the future, every man wants to have a son, period. If they're unable to have a son, guess what? They will literally go into the adoption agency and adopt a boy just so they can have an heir, a son. Every man wants to have a son. So by him saying that, right, I don't believe that this is Barack Honest's belief system. I believe this is something that Michelle had manipulated him into believing into this belief system. To think that if you were to get a son, there it's going to be harder. If you were to get a son, then guess what? You're going to, when you raise that son, right, you're going to be raising that son to be misogynist, to be a misogynist. You're going to be raising that son to treat women wrong. You're going to be raising the son to be patriarchal. You're going to be raising the son to look at women as property instead of a human being. Notice all this stuff that I'm saying. All this stuff that I'm saying, this comes from the feminist playbook. It comes to the one feminist ideology because they believe in this bullshit. There are other men out there that believe in this sentiment, and I'm going to share with y'all the reason why him and other men believe in the same sentiment, saying that they don't want a son. All right, matter of fact, Barack is going to let y'all know the reason why men like him believe in this bullshit. All right,
Just you took what your dad had done and you said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try the same thing.
Or were there things
did
you
it
didn't
change
wanna
over
do?
time?
It was a little bit of everything, but what you're both saying. Initially, I thought, okay, I'm going to take what I learned from Dad, all the things that I thought were positive, and then the couple of things that I thought were negative, I was going to try and repurpose.
Right.
What were some of the positives?
Well, it's just kind of the stuff that I named before. The willingness to get up and go to work every day, taking me with him to see what it was like to have male relationships, either at work, at the barbershop. He didn't go to the gym, but in places where men hung out.
Right.
The record store, we would go to the record store every now and then, and he'd have a bunch of friends there. That sounds like an old
I know the record
idea,
store.
going to the record store.
Oh, it's come back.
It's come back.
Oh, has it? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
It's retro.
But those were some of the positive things. How to walk with mom when you're walking down the street. Always walk on the street side.
Yeah. On the street
And
side.
holding the door and opening the door for her, allowing her to go in. It was just things like that.
Right.
And then I'd have to really work at thinking of something negative that Dad did. But
Well, what about? Let me ask.
So we done talked about this countless of times on the lounge when I was telling y'all about chivalry and about being a gentleman. Now, the one men in the past on these 70s and 80 generation of men, you know what I'm saying, they was teaching that you should be sacrificial. That's teaching that you should do all of these different attributes to prove that you're a man to a woman. Okay? And this is the same as that thing that he's repeated right now. Now, even right now, which Barack Obama is going to let y'all know the reason why he think like this, or why he think that he shouldn't have a son, okay? But all these different things goes along with this feminist ideology, okay? But let's continue real quick.
This though, I mean, Dad also came home, put his feet up, He didn't always cook. He didn't do dishes. He didn't do.
But you have to remember that I was thinking at the time that was okay because he was at work all day and he needed to rest, and mom was always cooking. So, but that's a good one. That's a good potential negative.
Gender roles, very clear division.
Very clear gender roles.
Very clear.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to do the positive things and then sort of expose Avery, who's my oldest, to less of the negative things.
Okay. Okay. So if we're going to consider this right, we're going to also have to consider what was happening in the generations. Okay. So back in that generation, what they talking about, right? The man was known as the breadwinner of that time. Okay. He was known as the breadwinner, meaning that he was the one who was going out working. He was working these long hours. He was working these long shifts, 12 to 13 to 16 hours or whatever, so he could provide for his family. So imagine you working all these hours, right? And you have a full ass family that you got to take care of, right? Imagine you working these long hours and you come in real late. The next thing you know, you come into your household and your wife demand that you cook. Now, keep in mind, during that time, women weren't allowed to work the way they're allowed to work right now. During that time frame with these other men, we're dealing with the second or third wave of feminism, right? Where women trying to fight for their right to work, but they wasn't working. So during that time frame, women were in the house. So you mean to tell me that it was wrong for that man to come into his house working 16 hours or whatever, right? And for him to put his feet up and do absolutely nothing while the woman just sit up there and cook? I mean, what are we talking about? Now, keep in mind, I get it in this modern generation. Where you have both men and women who are working. So I do agree with, in that aspect, in the modern generation, that gender roles do need to be redefined. I said that in this modern generation, that gender roles need to be redefined due to the dynamics of it now, where you do have two parents who are working. So both parents would need to share the load. Both parents need to share the load. So I get that, I understand that. But back in the day, to use this as a talking point, as an argument, no, that is not cool. That is not fair at all, period, for him to use that. Because once again, back in the day, women weren't allowed to work anyway. So what the hell you want the woman to do? Sit there and not do a damn thing? And then this man come in after working a 16-hour shift. Then he have to come in and clean up the house and cook and clean and wash clothes too? Shit, you're out your mind.
That's bullshit.
You are absolutely out your mind. But the thing about it is that this is what I'm talking about with this fifth wave of feminism, that they will say these weird ass talking points to make it seem like that it's facts, but they being disingenuous about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember, Avery's 33. So he didn't have to worry. We didn't have to worry about social media.
Mm-hmm.
There was very little internet stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we really focused on how to behave out in public as a guy, or I should say, how to get along, how to treat girls, how to have conversations. But with Austin and Aaron, it's more of how do you deal with social media?
Yeah.
And which was in Forever,
Mm-hmm.
the whole premise of the show. What are you supposed to say when you do
Is
that?
this a spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Was a video that got leaked.
Mhm.
So we're constantly talking to them about that. And now I have even more things to draw from because I raised Avery,
Right.
and there were some things that I was like, I wish I hadn't done that.
I could have
And
done that better.
I could have done that better, whether it was sort of teaching them how to drink. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know how to, you could end up in a bad situation.
Right.
You know, more direct conversations about the first time you were with a woman intimately?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean sex, Craig?
I do mean sex, and it's funny how I was tiptoeing around.
Craig got a little.
I was
gonna let
tiptoeing
him
around.
Man, I've been trying not to say nothing about this, but it's starting to kind of annoy me a little bit now. Y'all know this song Barack right here, man. Anytime when I see a man, right? Anytime I see a man and this nigga here got his leg out crossed up there like he's a goddamn woman, that's automatic beta energy.
Beta.
Once again, that is automatically beta energy. When I see a man, he's sitting up here, that dude got his leg crossed and like he's feminine and stuff.
Beta.
Speak, salute, welcome.
Because I feel like I'm on television.
You made me nervous. I was just like, let him get through this.
But
And this was part of my thinking about being a man and being a protector was the little things, getting somebody's chair, opening a door, helping, standing up if you're on the bus, and giving your seat to somebody else, right? A lot of the basic things that also just had to do with being thoughtful, right? This was like
being kind.
Being kind. I mean, this was male expressions of kindness and consideration.
It used to be called common courtesy.
Common courtesy.
And it's very interesting. It's very interesting that they calling this being common courtesy. Okay. Very interesting that they call it this, right? Because if that be true, then this same sentiment should be true for women who should be doing this as well too. Let's say, for example, you're a man, right? You're that man who to work the 16-hour shift. You don't have a car, and so you decided to take public transit system, right? You take this public transit system, whether it's the train or the bus, whatever the case may be, right? You tired, you've been doing manual labor all day, right? It feel like that you're just gonna pass out, right? Do you believe that a woman's gonna look at that man and say, you know what? You look like you had a rough day at work. That's out of common courtesy. Here, you can have my seat. Sit down. Do you honestly believe that women would do that, would think about that? The answer is nope. They're not gonna care about that. They ain't gonna care about that dude or nothing like that. They ain't gonna care about that dude having a hard day at work, his body hurting, his body aching, and none of that stuff. They ain't gonna care about that. They're gonna stay their ass sitting down. They're gonna roll their eyes and keep doing what they're doing. The only time when a woman would actually be considerate of giving her seat away if it's dealing with the damn elderly, and that's it. If it's an elderly person, that's it. That's the only time. They won't even give their damn seat away from their goddamn kids. They won't. They'll literally sit down and have their kids, stand up, baby, hold on to the rail while mama sit down. All right? That's what they do.
Can I ask, because as you guys are talking about these characteristics and traits, again, a lot of it is how to behave, the external part of you. But I think what I hear that gets missed, and it was missed in you guys growing up in definitions of manhood, was the internal self.
Yes.
Right? Because all the stoicism is external. Manners, common courtesy, it's all external.
No. Stoicism is not external, okay? It's not. Now, it could be external by the product of it being internal. Stoicism starts with the mental. Stoicism starts with a belief system, an ideology that you're going to be the certain type of way, period, okay? So when you make up your choice in mind that you're going to be the certain way, end up manifesting this self external. It's the same concept with religion, okay? You believe in God or you believe in a higher power, right? And this religion teach you about certain different things to improve yourself as a person or a human being, right? And so it starts with you absorbing that mentally and also absorbing that spiritually, right? There, what happens is that it becomes a product and manifesting itself outwardly where it becomes external. That's the concept of that, and that's the concept about stoicism as well, too.
Acting. It's all outward. It's
Right.
like, how do you appear? I don't want you to get arrested, so you have to behave in a certain way. I want you to be polite because I want you to be safe, right? And there's not a lot of conversation at this table about, well, how do you feel?
Right.
And how are boys being taught to help sort through their internal selves? I mean, it's almost like you're supposed to pretend like you don't have an internal self, an internal emotion of hurt or fear or all the things that are natural of any human, but definitely, fears and emotions that young boys, adolescent men, grown men are feeling. But there's no talk in any of these conversations about being anyone, father present, father not, helping boys guide through that piece of it. It's almost as if we are raising boys and pretending like their outward selves are the only things that matter. And
Now, everything that Michelle Obama is saying right now, do y'all agree with that? I'm just kind of curious. Everything she just said in this moment where she's talking about boys and their emotions and their feelings in this particular moment, do y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree with that? Because I want to kind of pick y'all brain on this one, okay? Now, in this particular moment of what Michelle is talking about, absolutely I agree with that. Absolutely I agree with that. The reason why is because we talked about this at the lounge. What did we talk about a couple of months at the lounge? We talked about men's mental health. What did Urban was telling y'all about that? I was literally telling y'all about all these internal things that we be holding on to that we need to release. Y'all remember me telling y'all about that? That we be having all these things that we need to release, and then when we try to confide into a person like a woman who say that they love us, right? We try to confide into them and just open up and share how the way we're feeling. Y'all remember when I was telling y'all about that? That when we try to share that, guess what? They laugh. Guess what? Guess what? Not only do women laugh, the women immediately emasculated. They even came to the point and sit here say that if a man cry, then he is a beta. If a man cry, he is not masculine at all. If a man cry, then I don't respect him. Then they even gave parameters about when a man cry. They said that it is only okay for a man to cry under these certain conditions that they made up. Y'all remember that? Y'all was over here. Y'all remember that? They said condition number 1, when a man physically hurt himself. Condition number 2, when someone in that man's family pass away. Them the only 2 conditions that a man could cry. If a man is feeling overwhelmed at work, he got all these things bottled up in him and he want to express himself, and he decides to come to that woman and open up to that woman, and he's got tears, he's crying and stuff, right? They laughed at that. They say, hell no. So this particular moment of what Michelle is talking about, I agree with her on that, because there are not a lot of conversations. But let me backtrack. There are conversations talking about this, but however, as a woman, she is not listening to it. Women who are watching this show right now, you're not listening to it. The reason why you don't want to listen to it is because your ego don't want to listen to it, because it is all about you and you alone. It's all about your feelings alone and not about your man's feeling. So that's why y'all believe it's not being talked about. But however, where we have these spaces or communities such as the Red Pill or the Manosphere who are literally talking about these things, or when y'all come over here at the lounge who are literally talking about these things, right? guess what? Immediately it becomes, oh man, he's misogynist. Oh man, there's something wrong with these men. Oh man, these men are sassy as hell. So we're having the conversation. Y'all just not listening. But let's continue.
For who they are internally, how they process, how they deal with fear and hurt. Like that, that's not even on the list of.
No, I would agree with you. It's not on the list because I don't know about you, but during my upbringing, nobody talked about that.
Yeah, so that you couldn't even have that for yourself.
I wouldn't even known how to have it, right?
Yeah.
I would have. I'm just trying to think about the times when I felt insecure. That's internal, or I felt fear, or I felt some sort of way. I could always go to dad and say, I'm feeling this because of something that took place. It wasn't, I didn't even know that I could be feeling this just inside and not manifesting itself. It was always a discussion on something it was some issue that had come up.
And so it was a problem-solving conversation.
It was always a problem-solving conversation.
Well, look.
And before Barack continue, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with having a solution-based conversation? What's wrong with that? Especially when you're dealing with a boy, okay? Say, for example, something where it happened to this boy, like he done got hit and he started crying on the field and he started crying, or he made a bad grade at school or whatever stuff, right? What is wrong with a man, right, giving that boy concrete sound advice so he could know how to problem solve? What's wrong with that? Why do it seem like it's a masculine attack for you not to problem solve with your own son? Why do it seem that way? But let's continue.
I do think that is part of the culture we grew up in, was not that you didn't have feelings, but you ascribed them to a certain situation. Somebody's messing with you. You're getting bullied at school. You didn't make the team. How should you deal with this, right? And then there would be real conversations, but it very much was around, all right, stuff happens in the world and you've got to deal with it. And it goes back to the whole notion of being strong, self-reliant, don't be a baby, etc. I do think that one of the differences for me was being raised by a teen mom.
All right. So this is the point that I want to make with this. And I was waiting on Barack Obama to say this. Now, y'all just heard a few seconds ago that Barack Obama admittedly said that he was raised by a teen single mother. Okay. Y'all just heard that, right? Now, if we go back and backtrack, right? This is the reason why Barack Obama said what he said about him not having a son. This is why he said what he said. He said this because he was raised by a single teen mom. Now, I want y'all to stay with me on this, okay? Whenever you get raised by a teen single mother, right, there are a lot of different things that happens, you know what I'm saying? We all could admit that even being raised by a teen single mom, right, that she would do her very best to try to raise her son to the best of her ability. But in reality, she just simply do not understand the whole mentality or what's going on in her son's head because she's not a male. She'll do her best to relate to it, but she don't understand the things that's going on. Okay? So what she would do is this. She will subconsciously implant into her single son's head a level of self-hate. Once again, what she would do is subconsciously plant into her son's head a level of self-hate. How she do that? She would do this by simply saying things that women desire out of a man versus not understanding that men desire certain things as well too. This is the whole notion of where this simp culture came from. At least dealing with a single mother household. This whole notion of the simp culture came from single mothers making their sons have self-hate for themselves. This mother would say, hey, in order for you to please this woman, then you need to do all these different things. You need to open up the door for her. You need to treat her this way. You need to treat her that way. This also the notion where the boy husband or whatever, that concept comes from as well too. Because right after that, right, that's when that same single mother started grooming her son to become a husband. She started grooming him. From that point, that's when that boy ended up becoming the goddamn beta.
Beta.
He not only becomes a damn beta, but he ended up becoming a beta male simp. So he literally self-hates himself. Therefore, that's the reason why Barack Obama said what he said, that he didn't want to have no boys, because he knew that his single teenage mom had taught him to self-hate himself. So therefore, he was going to be spreading that same type of self-hate to his damn son. That's why he said that. I guarantee that that's the reason why other men think the same exact way. That if they was raised by single mothers, right, they have that same type of self-hate mentality. Some of them will say this. They'll simply say this. The reason why I don't want to have sons is because, man, sure, I was out there. I was a Rolling Stone. I was out there for the streets and everything. I was for the streets.
She belongs to the streets.
I was for the streets and everything. And so therefore, I don't want my son to be the same exact way. So therefore, I don't want to have a son. I don't want to have a son. That's why they say it. So they literally have been programmed to have a form of self-hate against themselves. This is the reason why Barack Obama is the way that he is right now. Like I pointed out earlier, that this dude got his leg crossed and stuff, right? And it's not just Barack Obama who do this dumb shit. It's not on him. I've seen a whole lot of different sassy ass celebrities that do this. Matter of fact, I seen Cam Newton do this, where he have his leg crossed throughout the whole entire show. Nigga, what the fuck? He ain't the only one. There's a lot of these old sassy dudes that sit up here, got this on legs crossed all the way, looking all feminine as hell and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Wearing skinny. And it, that's another thing that's blowing my damn mind is that why the hell Barack Obama is wearing some fucking skinny jeans, so you're almost 60 years damn old? Or what is this? This a coverall? So what do they call that? Coverall, cargo shorts, whatever you call that bullshit. Why is he wearing this? He almost 60 years old. Why is he dressed like that? I'm just saying. But let's continue, y'all.
And young mother she would talk to me a lot about how she was feeling, and in turn I could
listen. He said this. He said she would tell him how much who was feeling, not him, but her. Which this solidify my argument about this. So when I say stuff, I could prove it with facts. Okay, I could prove it with facts. Let's rewind it.
It goes back to the whole notion of being strong, self-reliant, don't be a baby, etc. I do think that one of the differences for me was being raised by a teen mom, and young mother, she would talk to me a lot about how she was feeling, and in turn, I could talk to her about how I was feeling. And so I do think I developed some internal vocabulary around this. And frankly,
Now, notice what he used. He said he developed some type of eternal vocabulary. Where did that vocabulary come from? From his mom. Because keep in mind that children mimic parents' behavior, period. Whether you're a single mom, single father, two-parent household, whatever the case may be, children mimics parents' behavior. So this literally became his worldview.
and I know this, conforms to my nerdy reputation that my wife likes to tease me about, but books taught me a lot about emotions, right? I like reading and movies and TV shows, et cetera, but getting that sense of, oh, this is what people go through, and developing kind of an inner monologue about situations. How are other people feeling? How am I feeling? I tried to kind of piece that together, and it was imperfect. But at least there were avenues in which I could have those conversations. Craig, I am interested in what you described.
See, the thing about it is that he never had a very legitimate conversation with his mom, because she only shared what she could share as being a woman. Now, notice that right afterward, right, he didn't continue or he didn't expound to say like, hey, since I was dealing with a single mother, right, what I ended up doing, I ended up going to other outlets, which is, going to other men to learn about things that I was going with. He never said that. He stopped at his single mom, and that was it. Once again, the reason why is because he trusted his single mother. He trusted that everything that she was saying was facts, and he made it to its immediate reality. And this is what carried him over as a man. And even right now, which we're going to reveal later on in the show, right, how Barack Obama was literally simping over Michelle Obama. And we also going to, I'm going to reveal something to you as well, too. I'm going to reveal something else to y'all, too, is that Michelle Obama never wanted Barack Obama. Do y'all know that Michelle Obama didn't want Barack? She didn't want to be in a relationship with this nigga at all. I'm going to reveal that to y'all, but stay tuned.
In terms of your relationship with your dad. So did that then carry over to how you interacted with your friends coming up? And was there a point in time where you thought, okay, when I'm dealing with Avery or Aaron or Austin, I need to maybe have a different approach. I need to share more of my emotions so that they feel like they can come to me and talk about theirs. What was that process?
So the process was this. I felt like once I had kids, I had to reevaluate everything, right, which included my relationships with my friends and family and work and the whole thing. And I realized when Avery was born, I needed to cut down my circle of friends to the serious ones, because I've got some serious business of raising this these kids when Leslie came along. And it was about that time that it is probably the first time where I had really deep conversations with my male friends.
So my only pushback on this is this. Why did it take for you to have kids for you to finally get rid of them ain't shit friends? Huh? Why it took for you to have kids to finally get rid of them ain't shit friends? See, this is why I be saying that people be disingenuous about the things that they be saying. This Negro knew good and darn well that he had ain't shit friends. But he held on to him for a long time. He held on to him probably because of loyalty or whatever the case may be, but he knew that them niggas was ain't shit. He knew that. But you're going to sit up here and use the excuse now saying that, well, I got kids. Hey, bro, I got kids now. So, I got to cut you off. I got to make my circle small now. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Bro.
Where you started to understand, okay, something's going on with this person. Let me find out what it is.
Right.
Something's going on with me. Let me share it.
Right.
That's the hardest part, at least for me.
One of the things you've both been good at is having male friend groups. And studies show that the rate of loneliness among...
Before she misquote this study, all right. Notice what she's getting ready to say. She's going to talk about having friends or have a form of community. I find this interesting because earlier she's pushing back on the manosphere and the red pill community. Ain't that the same? Ain't that the same thing, having a sense of community? But let's hear her point of view on this.
Both been good at is having male friend groups. And studies show that the rate of loneliness among young men and older men has gone up, which pushes them into these manosphere spaces because it's the only place they're going to find community or to talk to one another.
I went in on research this study and I found that bullshit. I didn't find nothing about what the hell she was talking about at all, period. I didn't. I did, because if it was so, I'll present it to y'all on this show tonight. But I didn't find nothing talking about this, period. Talking about there's a study showing talking about man loneliness and stuff. And the reason why man lonely is because they're part of a said red pill or blue pill or black pill or whatever down pill community.
That's bullshit.
If that be the case, why the hell is people part of other communities like religious communities? You know what I'm saying? People part of religious communities. If that be the case, why is it only dealing with men? That's why I told y'all in the beginning of the stream that it's literally an attack. It literally is a political attack on masculinity. It really is. Because they're not saying anything about women being misandrous or anything like that. They ain't even talking about it like it's not a problem. Or it's like they accept it for what it is. Weird.
Can you guys talk about how you both have managed to maintain friendships? What do you think is different about the way you guys have lived lives? I mean, Barack, you've maintained your friends through being in the White House, but there are a lot of men out there in the world who say that they don't have more than a couple of friends, if that.
I was in high school mostly being raised by my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And
so, not only he was raised by a single mother for the period of time, but majority of the time he admitted that he was being raised by his grandparents. I'm kind of curious to want to know the lessons that his grandfather and grandmother was teaching him while he was being raised, because obviously his single mother was teaching him how to be a goddamn beta.
Beta!
So I'm kind of curious to want to know what lessons his grandparents was teaching him.
I ended up making a bunch of friends, a lot of them who were basketball players, but not all. And it wasn't until later that I realized, actually, they were all kids of divorced parents. Mm-hmm. So they're all being raised by single moms. It was almost like we kind of created our little tribe of...
Notice the words that he was saying. He's saying a sense of community. He said that we all gel together because we had common interests, right? Created a tribe, right? Continue, Barack.
Found community, a found family. And
found family, community. Okay, continue, Barack.
And you now know them all. Bobby, Titcomb, and Greg Orm, and Mike Ramos. And And they were an opportunity for me actually to learn how to share.
He said that part of this community or tribe that he's a part of, right, that it created an opportunity for him to not only share, but to learn from one another. Continue, Barack.
And what that did teach me was that having male friends I could talk to and count on was important to my life.
He said that having male friends was important to him in his life. So riddle me this. If he literally created this tribe, this said community for himself, right? Then why are they talking down on the red pill and manosphere community? Because they're doing the same as that thing, correct? Are they not doing the same as that thing where do you have all these men who are coming together with the same common interests, right? In most cases, men have been either one abused by women, they've been exploited by women, or they dealt with predatory behavior by these said type of women, and they come into this community or come into this space talking about this, right? Sharing their stories about this with each other in effort that they can learn from the mistakes that they made and they can move on. So riddle me this. If that be the case, right, what is wrong with that said community? If that's what they're doing, if that's the intentions behind it. Now, keep in mind, there are parts or sectors of this community where them niggas be talking about some stupid ass shit where I don't agree with at all, period. But through the hindsight part about it, if they are doing this right, then why are you labeling this as a extremist or a extreme group? If that be the case, right, we could honestly say that Barack Obama community is a extreme group as well too, because you're doing the same as that thing. Facts. You're doing the same as that thing in your community. Y'all come together, y'all sharing each other perspectives so y'all can learn from each other so it can better help you as a man. So it's safe to say that if you want to call the red pill and all this stuff a extreme group, fine. But your tribe is a extreme group as well too. Facts. Shout out to everybody who are in the building. Appreciate y'all. We are talking about the Obamas tonight. We're talking about the Obamas, and I'm sharing with y'all how the Obamas are literally using political gain to literally talk down on masculinity, to literally destroy masculinity, to make masculinity literally toxic for real, to make it seem like you being a man and you have all these feelings and emotions and you have these certain type of standards and expectations that is considered as toxic. We're talking about that. We're talking about how they're using it, how they're weaponizing this as well too, and they packaging it in a way where women will look at this and they'll say, yeah, Michelle is right, simply because she's Michelle Obama, simply because it's Barack Obama. I teased y'all earlier by saying this. I had said that, do you know that Michelle Obama did not even want Barack? That Michelle Obama literally was curbing this dude. That Michelle Obama eventually settled for Barack Obama. That Barack Obama was literally simping over Michelle Obama. Do y'all agree with that? I know a lot of y'all don't agree with that at all. Y'all like, nah, Herbert, you tripping, bro. You lying like I ain't nothing, know what I mean? I'm gonna prove it to y'all. I'm gonna show it to y'all. Let me get this clip on pulled up. Let me get this clip pulled up and I'm gonna show y'all that Michelle Obama literally did not want to be with Barack at all, period. She didn't. Let me get it pulled up. Where is that? Man, I say y'all, I got so many damn clips tonight, y'all. I do. I do. Oh, but before I want to pull this clip up real quick, let me do this. Could I already shared that one. All right. So I think it's right here. I think so. Yeah, here it is. I found it. All right, so without further ado, let's listen to Michelle Obama as she gave this. She was on the interview, right? And on this interview, she literally admitted that she did not want Barack Obama at all. Period. She did not want this dude. Barack was the one who was simping over her. All right. So without further ado, let's listen to what she got to say on this.
You rejected him at first, right?
Yeah, because I was a first-year associate, so they tried to pair first years sort of with new summer associates just to help get them acclimated and to kind of give them advice to sort of mentor them for the summer. So I was his mentor, right? So he comes in, he's late, so I'm thinking, okay, this guy's trifling, because we didn't, in the Robinson family, we didn't do late, but he was raining and he did.
So first of all, she said that she didn't want to have nothing to do with this because he was a first-year student at Harvard, right? And she had to mentor him. And so she literally called this nigga trifling like ain't nothing because he came in late like ain't nothing. God damn, Michelle, damn. Called this dude trifling because he came in late.
Have an umbrella, and so he was a little wet. So I was a little annoyed, but he stood up, and he was tall, and he was more handsome than his pictures. So I sort of...
So she even said that she was annoyed because he came in late.
I thought, oh, okay, and not what I expected. I took him around the office, got him settled into his office, took him out to lunch that first day, and we talked for like hours. I knew that we were going to be friends. He was smart. He was funny, had a good sense of humor, didn't take himself too seriously.
She said that she knew that they was going to be friends. So in her mind, she already immediately friends on this dude. She already immediately friends on him. We done on the lounge, I done talk about so many times about the friend zone and how the way the friend zone operate, especially with women. Whenever a woman friends on you, they friends on you because they see potential in you, but however, they're really not attracted to you at that particular moment. They have a certain type of men that they're currently attracted to. So they'd rather be out there for the streets and deal with this certain type of man that they want in that moment. But they're gonna put this dude who they're friend with in the friend zone as a placeholder. All right. She did Barack Obama the same exact way. Made this dude become a placeholder. Okay. Listen in.
We clicked right off the bat. And over the course of the summer, we actually became really good friends. I was even trying to introduce him to some of my friends, my girl.
So on top of that, she started introducing him to her girlfriends, to her homies. Because once again, he's in the friend zone. He's a placeholder. She see potential in this dude, but she want to wait. She want to wait until the opportune moment to where this dude will benefit her. Do this sound like predatory behavior? I'm kind of curious. Do this sound like predatory behavior? But let's continue.
Girlfriends saying there's this really cute guy who's my advisor, because in my mind there wasn't any way that the few black associates there who both went to Harvard were going to date. In my mind I was like, that's going to be tacky, that's expected, right? And I was just sort of into not doing the expected, right? So my mind went somewhere else. And after a couple of outings, he said, well, why don't we go out? And I was like, no way are we going to go out. That's just not going to happen. We are friends. And he was sort of like, well, why? And he made the case. I said, well, I don't think it looks right. And he said, who cares about how it looks? And so he made his Barack Obama case over a couple of weeks. And finally I was like, okay, we'll go out on one date.
So this dude literally simped for her for weeks and weeks and weeks, where he's sitting up here trying to convince her that he's the guy. He's the guy that, you know, she's looking for while she out there for the streets, trying to be with these other dudes or whatever stuff, right? And so finally, after this long process or whatever, she's like, you know what? Fine. And let's listen to the end result.
After that, it was over. It was a full day date.
So afterwards, she made up her mind, stated that, hey, you know what? After me dealing with whatever it is that I've been dealing with for this period of time, I'm finally going to get you out the friend zone. I'm finally going to give you, Barack Obama, an opportunity to date me, Michelle. And she did. Gave him that opportunity, and guess what? The rest is history. So she literally fed on this dude opportunity. She fed on this dude. She fed on this dude everything. You know what? I just thought about this too. Let me share this real quick. Lionel had shared this with me, and I'm gonna share it with y'all. All right. Let me share this. All right. Lionel had sent this to me on my IG, and check this out. And it goes along with what we're talking about. All right. Check this out. This is what Lionel want to share with me. Okay. He said on this post, it said this: curved him for 6 years. I dated his best friend, his brother, his colleague at work. His dad was even my sugar dad at the time. I can't believe he still loves me this much. He saw something in me, and now we are engaged like it ain't nothing. Now we're engaged like it ain't nothing. I also want y'all to consider this. During this time, right, Barack Obama had options. Barack Obama had a lot of options. Nigga was in Harvard. That's by you going to Harvard. That's by you going to Harvard. That automatically boosts your social status. Right then and there. That's by going to Harvard. That's by saying, I go to Harvard. That automatically boosts your social status. Let alone him being there and staying on campus and stuff. His status already got increased right then and there. So Barack had options. He had plenty of options to choose from. But this goes along to what I said, right? A matter of fact, I had said this on a panel, right? And the women on the panel had disagreed with me on this. I had said this on this panel, and Lionel was there. I said this on this panel. I said, y'all know what? Do y'all know that men only go after the 8 and 9 and 10 women only for fun? But they really don't try to wife them up. But the only other type of man that try to wife up these type of women is these are stupid ass athletes and stuff, right? Or these stupid ass men who are simps. But the average man don't go for these 8, 9s, or 10s. The average man normally goes for the 5s, 6, and 7s. We could clearly see that Michelle is between a 5 or a 6. At the most, for her looks. We could agree to that for real. We could agree to that Michelle is nothing but a 5 or a 6. So he went for the average woman. The average at best woman. And then on top of that, that's what tripped me out as well too. The average at best women, right? They have this mentality thinking that they're 8, 9, or 10. Meaning that they could sit up here and put dudes in the friend zone, make dudes wait on them and do all this weird stuff that they got going on and stuff, right? Acting like they're 8, 9, and 10. But in reality, you're not 8, 9, and 10. But when you deal with dudes like Barack, right? This dude here, he sit up here seeing her as though she's an 8, 9, or 10, which she's not. So this dude literally sitting up here working extra hard for a 5 or a 6. Wild as hell. And on top of that, she wasn't even interested in that dude. She wasn't interested in the dude, but she valued him. That's why she put him in the friend zone. She valued him most definitely. Before it's like being attracted to this dude, she wasn't attracted to this dude. And to kind of prove this argument, y'all, this is the reason why people are saying right now what they're saying about Barack and Michelle Obama marriage. Because you could tell when a man and a woman is literally attracted to each other. Can we all agree to that? You can literally tell when a man and woman is attracted to each other. Because they're gonna do certain things to display that they're attracted to each other. Like case in point, with me and my wife, Mrs. Urban, I do things to let her know that I'm attracted to you. I'll walk up to her, smack her on the booty. I'll give her a hug. I'll give her a kiss. I'll give her compliments. I do every different thing possible to let her know that I'm attracted to her. And vice versa. She'll do all these different things to let me know that she's attracted to me. Right? We'll make up pet names for each other, all kind of stuff, right? To show that you're attracted to the person. Are the Obamas doing the same as that thing with each other? Showing that they're attracted to each other? Showing that they literally are happily married and all these different things? Nope. Not at all. They're not doing it. And this is why people are saying about the divorce rumor thing. Let me prove this on point to y'all. Let me show this on clip to y'all. And I want y'all to, I believe this is when he walked up to it, right? Here it is. Okay. Let me show this clip to y'all, okay? Notice the whole body language of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, okay? Notice the whole body language with them, okay? So let's check this out.
Barack Obama, can you join us on
Come
our
on
set?
out here, brother.
Welcome to IMO. Look at you.
Wait, you guys like?
Now look, I want y'all to once again pay attention to the body language. Pay attention to the body language because body language tells the story. Now, I don't want y'all to get it twisted or get confused because Michelle get up and it appears that she's smiling and happy to see this dude, right?
Oh, look at you.
I don't want y'all to get confused on this, thinking that she's doing that and this is part of her liking and loving and she's attracted to Barack. That's not what it is. She is doing this is because she is on camera right now. She is playing a role. She is playing a script for y'all to believe that she likes her husband. But the body language never lies. Because look, watch this.
Welcome to IMO. Look at you.
Notice what Barack did. They went for a hug with each other, but who kissed who? Who kissed who? Did they kiss each other? Like they love each other? Or was it Barack who kissed Michelle? He the one who kissed Michelle.
Wait, you guys like each other?
Oh, yeah, really.
And she never kissed this dude back. She never held this dude like she loved him. Now, here's another thing that I want to point out to y'all too, is this. There's a certain thing that women do when they hug a man to let that man know that they're attracted to that man. They'll do this subtle thing. And men, y'all know, and women, y'all agree with this. When they hug a man, right, they will embrace the man tight and they will literally grab either on that man's neck, or they'll kind of rub on the dude's ear, or they'll rub on his body some type of way in a flirtatious way to let her know that she's attracted to this dude. But this particular hug right here, no, this is more of this church hug that you get from a woman who's not attracted to you at all, period. That's what this is. This is just that church hug that she gave him.
Oh, look at you.
Wait, you guys like each other?
Oh, yeah, really, huh?
That's so
The
nice.
rumor mill. It's my husband, y'all.
She took me back.
Now don't start.
I can't.
It was touching.
And this dude here with his old tight ass jeans on.
It's so nice to have you both in the same room together.
I know, because when we aren't, folks think we're divorced.
These are the kinds of things
Yeah.
that I just miss, right? So I don't even know this stuff's going on.
Right.
And then somebody will mention it to me, and I'm all like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Yeah.
There hasn't been one moment in our marriage where I thought about quitting my man. And we've had some really hard times, but we had a lot of fun times, a lot of adventures, and I have become a better person because of the man I'm married to.
Remember earlier when I was on sharing with y'all that she put Barack in the friend zone, and I was telling y'all the reason why she had him in the friend zone? The reason why she had him in the friend zone because she seen potential in him. She took him out of the friend zone is because of his social status. Not because she was attracted to this dude initially, but she seen his social status. I'm going to present to y'all tonight that it's the same exact way right now, is that she's not attracted to Barack Obama, but she's attracted to his social status. That's the reason why she said what she said, is that she became a better person because of him. Not because Barack was teaching her how to become a better person or to become a better woman, because we know that opposite sex cannot teach each other to be a better person. We know and we understand that. Can't teach a woman how to be a woman. Can't teach a man how to be a man. But however, when you're dealing with social status or social norms, you could elevate them in that way. And that's what he did. He elevated her through social status. And so that's why she said that she became a better person because of that reason. Not because of the marriage and different things like that, or because she's attracted to him.
Okay, don't make me cry now. Right at the beginning of the show.
Oh, that's
Don't make him cry. Yo, Barack, if you cried, then she's going to look at you differently, for sure.
Oh, don't let me start tearing up now.
But that's that particular clip right there that I wanted to share with y'all to show y'all Michelle Obama is not attracted to Barack Obama. Even to this day, she had this dude in the friend zone, and even to this day, she is not attracted to Barack Obama at all. She's not. She is thus in what people call a partnership with Barack Obama. She's not in love with this dude, nor she's not attracted to this dude, period. She's not. She's not. So I got other content that I want to pull up about them, because like I said, I got a lot of content that I want to cover, but I'm gonna go ahead and save it for another time, y'all. I'm gonna save it for another time. All right. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this particular episode, this particular show dealing with the Obama. So do you agree with me about my perspective about them? You know what I'm saying? Where they both have partnered each other, they have partnered together to literally create the destruction of masculinity with men. They literally have partnered together to be part of this modern day feminism movement. Do y'all agree with me on that, or do you disagree with me on that? Y'all let me know in the comments. What about my whole concept of showing to y'all that Michelle Obama is not attracted to Barack Obama? Now, Barack is attracted to Michelle, no doubt. But Michelle is not attracted to Barack. Do y'all agree with me on that? Do y'all agree with the clip that I showed to y'all, proving that she put this dude in the friend zone, that she wasn't even remotely attracted to this dude? In fact, she set up here was trying to pawn this dude off with her homegirls. Then she finally just say, you know what, forget it. Let's just try it out and see. And so ultimately, she got into a relationship and married this dude based on status, not because she literally was in love with this dude. She had sex with this dude and had children with this dude because of status, not because she truly was in love with this dude. And we proved it on the last clip that I shared with y'all. So do y'all agree with that or not? Y'all let me know in the comment section as well too. Shout out to everyone who's in the building tonight for this episode. Appreciate y'all a whole lot. Appreciate y'all a whole lot. Do me a favor, y'all. Do me a favor. Do your boy Urban a favor. To continue to get this great thought-provoking content, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Okay? Because when you hit the thumbs up, that let YouTube know that you're enjoying this content and you want more of it. In fact, when you hit the thumbs up, not only it let YouTube know that you're enjoying this content, but your YouTube algorithm will begin to share out other content creators that are connected to me as well too. Did y'all know that? See, people think that the YouTube algorithm is, through this digital world that you got to do this certain digital thing to get the results that you want with your content. But I learned about truly what is the YouTube algorithm. And the YouTube algorithm is what I'm telling y'all right now. Is you watching shows, you're hitting the thumbs up, and then it's going to let you know that you want more of this content. Then also is going to recommend other content creators who's connected to the content creator that you're watching. Case in point with me. There are other content creators who are connected to me, and it's going to give you a recommendation of their said channels as well too, like SBK, like Lino, even Tap In Podcasts as well too, or other content creators not connected to. It's going to give that recommendation and let you know, like, hey, if you love Urban Now Podcast, then check out Tap In Podcast as well too, or check out SBK as well too. Check out Lino Subs and check out the Subverse as well too. That's why it's important for when you be in these content creators channel that you support them by simply just hitting the thumbs up, hitting the like button, and watching the content. So we appreciate that a whole lot, for real. Make sure y'all tune in to the next episode where I'll be presenting other thought-provoking conversation as well too. Make sure y'all check out my community wall. Well, not only I could post on my community wall, but do y'all know y'all could post on my community wall as well too? Sure can. Y'all could post on my community wall. So go ahead, give it a try. Go ahead and go over to the community wall, post comments. Let me know how you feel about this episode or prior episodes as well too, or check out my prior episodes as well too, all right? So appreciate that, y'all. Other than that, we're going to get on up out of here. Make sure y'all take care of each other. Men, make sure y'all take care of yourself and your mental health as well, too, because nobody else is going to do it. All right? So appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great and wonderful night.